Hello everyone. It's time for another YouTube video. And today I'm going to be answering a handful of you guys' curiosities and questions because a lot of you have been interested in this tarot journal by Amy Cesari. It is the Coloring Book of Shadows tarot journal. I'm not going to be giving you guys a full flip. I have used some of the prompts in here. I have done my own tarot draws and journaled about them, all of that, because that's really much more personal. Those will be saved for Patreon. But I did want to kind of chat a little bit about this coloring book. I have not completed it. I got it last year. And I will be playing in it again for 2022. I'm not in here every day. I just pick it up whenever I feel like it. Next month, I will be diving deeper, like I said, into my practice with tarot, why I do tarot, what tarot means to me, and some of my actual draws for January in Patreon in the study tribe. Anyhow, let's dive in. As you can see, I have this like little happy planner. This was actually the back of a planner. I keep it in here because it is a coloring book, and you can actually look up Coloring Book of Shadows on Instagram or even like hashtag Coloring Book of Shadows, and you'll see that most people use colored pencils or crayons. I just love watercolor. So when I do it, I put this behind the page I'm working on. So let's say this is one that's not complete, but I'll show you because I work in stages. So this is my watercolor stage, and I would have it behind this so that it doesn't like bleed through. I don't mind ghosting. See if I can find one. Because I splatter everywhere, it holds up pretty well. Like there's not a whole lot of, like if you look, that's a splattered. There's really not a whole lot of ghosting with watercolor. But that's how I start, is I start with splatters and then just taking watercolor and coloring it in like super quickly. And then let me show you one that's completed. Okay, so one thing to know about this is I 100% believe that this is great for newbies who are new to tarot because it actually, let's see here. I don't want to show too much of my own like journaling, but it walks you through like and gives you a bunch of tips for journaling or for tarot, your intuition. Specifically like this, she talks about reading tarot intuitively. That's a completed page. She goes through the arcana, like if you're new to tarot, it's a great start. It's where I got my start in learning. Obviously, if you're familiar with tarot, you can go deeper, and there's so many other books to go deeper with tarot. But she goes through like all the different major and minor and the different elements that they are attributed to. She goes through all the different suits. And because I was working with a different tarot that used different names for each suit. So like for me, spells were wands, visions were cups, boons were pentacles, and challenges were swords in the deck that I was using. So I wrote that in. But like I said, she also goes through how to use tarot. I love the images. Sorry about the music. And it's just so therapeutic to color, and because I just love watercolor, that's where I begin. So here, this one, let me just show you. So I went in and started with watercolor. Then I used a ballpoint pen and traced everything, which just brought it out that much more. And sometimes further along, let me find one I've completed. Let's see. Because I work in stages, there's a lot that have not been completed because it does take a lot to go back through and look at this. So this is all about numerology. Again, this is a great like beginner guide. So this is tarot and numerology, and I watercolored it, and then I went in with, I think this one was actually a gel pen, but usually I use a ballpoint or a Sharpie and just trace, and it just like makes it pop, and I love it. So I don't know if this answers some of you guys' questions. She does have another thing about this. I mean, look at all this information. There's so much information. She does a full, I think she does a full flip through of this and the magical year planner, I think is the one, the Book of Shadows for your magical year. I will put those flip throughs down below because she does have a YouTube channel. But she talks about like how to use it with dot grid, like how to do like a tarot journal. And in the back, sometimes I use her, she actually has like suggestions. So that's partly colored, but then over here, there's questions for you to ponder. So this is specifically talking about the ram, determination and blunt forward motion. And then she has 3 questions. How can I find strength and determination? Where do I need to take more responsibility for my actions? Where should I focus my power? And then here, there's the 3 card pulls. So if you wanted to do her specific tarot spread, you can ask those questions and pull cards for each and then journal about them, which I love. And that's literally on, I think it's, yeah, so here's another one all about castle, and she's got pulls for that. Here's one all about flowers. And again, more questions. She's got some online. Sometimes I just do my own thing in here. But I love that if I wanted inspiration, this is about bird, your highest self. Again, with questions and prompts. It's really great. Even if you're more experienced and you're not a beginner, it's just so fun to color and have those suggestions there to play with. I hope this was what you guys were looking for, those that were asking. Let's see, what else can I tell you? It does, in my opinion, it holds watercolor well if you have something behind it. It tends to, when you're doing it, it feels wrong. It feels like it's gonna bleed through. But then afterwards, I love the crinkliness of the pages. Like, it's just, I love it. So I will be in this again for 2022, and I will share the deck that I chose because I'm opening it up on Christmas, so I can't share it before then. But if you guys have any other questions about this tarot coloring book, please put them below and I will try to answer them. Again, I will also link to all of the flips that Amy Cesari does on her channel because she does walk you through in depth so you can see nearly every page of her planners and things. What else did I have for you guys? If you want more info and want to actually see how I read tarot, I will be talking more of that in January on my Study Tribe Patreon group. It's just, yeah. So I think that's everything. All right. I will talk with you guys next week. Until then, enjoy your wild, sexy lives.